and build it to 90%, and then the project is not long interesting and they are at the next project. So we always have that idea when we build something, well, maybe we can build something bigger, or maybe we can make commercial to get some money in, but the people who constructed it are already no longer interested, so I'm already at the next project. And that's difficult. You have everyone who wants to enjoys to organize events and something like that, and we don't have that part of it. It's pretty hard for those people to organize something when they don't get any support from the rest. So the mix of people you have in DasLabor is probably not that that you can increase the visibility. That's what I...
It's also because in the same article they talked about this Chinese house builders. It also talked about, you know, the aerospace industry is using 3D printing technology to sort of do prototyping for new wing constructions. And, you know, there's actually in some parts of industry, you know, these kind of technologies, this kind of culture is already being harnessed in a sense to develop, you know, the sort of the next phase of whatever their product is. So you can also, you know, you don't work on the same things, no?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you work together, and so that's also part of the network. Sometimes the network is on this, and then, you know, these people are left out, and then it swings that way. And, I mean, it's not one thing, right?
It's a dynamic, of course.
It's a dynamic. And I think you have all the different, like he has different skills from you, and I think that's the interesting thing about how this works here.
But the skills as DasLabor are mostly technical and not really interested in organizing stuff.
Right.
I think that's one of the problems we have, and that limits our scope.
Maybe this event, you know, in the context of this thing with the Schauspielhaus and whatever, and I think my main contact is Katja Assmann from Urbane Kunstruhe.
Yeah, I only know Dennis Klein or Klein, who is from the technical side, who showed us the Tunnel, for example.
And I think, you know, she's really, I think she's great. But if this is like, you know, if this is like a need, then perhaps, you know, this can be an opportunity to be put in touch with people who are interested in that kind of aspect.
Because, well, Katja's interesting because she is an engineer by training. And she's kind of, she was originally like an engineer, so, and ended up doing cultural stuff. So
this is, I think it's also like extending the network, you know? It's sort of like, and that of course is interesting because you have, in a sense, you have an identity as DasLabor, just like there is some sort of identity to DasLiverpool, but it's not, I mean, the last time we were talking here, we went to a long sort of like chat about how this is nothing, you know, this is not something, you know, doesn't do anything. It's the people who meet here and sort of like use this sort of like envelope to sort of like generate projects between themselves, you know, sometimes bringing in things, sometimes, you know,